Welcome back, Mr. Goodberry. The First Star Logistics studio is fully equipped and ready to record.
Your Cincinnati Bengals improved to 8-6 with Jake Browning at the helm now, beating the Minnesota Vikings and Nick Mullins. So we got some backup battles going on the last few weeks here, including the Steelers game this week and then the Browns game week 18. But keep clawing, keep finding a way to win. This Bengals team has been very impressive without their star quarterback in Joe Burrow. I'm Joe Goodberry. This is Bengals on the Brain. The show is brought to you by First Star Logistics, my great partner. Hey, if you didn't check it out yet, the winners have been announced for the custom Bengals golf bag and the Jamar Chase White Tiger White Bengals helmets. Those were on Twitter. The next giveaway for the First Star Logistics weekly prizes is a custom kegerator. You got a keg you want to keep cold during the summer? I don't even know these were things. I'm gonna be honest with you. Half of these prizes, sometimes I'm like, that's a thing. You can do this. You can have this. You can have a kegerator, a fridge to keep your keg cold. It looks awesome, though. You see the decals on it with the Bengals head and the Cincinnati Bengals and the First Star on the side. I want to win that. Anyways, get in on that on Twitter at First Star Logistics. Follow me on Twitter at Joe Goodberry. We are going to focus on Jake Browning for the first time. It's been 4 weeks of starting. I really haven't focused on him because we were at first, hey, let's just dive into player evaluation. Let's look at the scheme and see how they're changing things up for Browning. But now, after 4 games, making history again as the only guy to complete 75% of his passes and throw 1,000 yards in 4 starts, we're going to look at the tape. Is Jake Browning actually good? Where does he struggle? What are some of the issues with Jake Browning? Because I think we got, and I'm not going to spoil it, but through 3 quarters, the Bengals had 3 points. And then Browning made some plays in the 4th quarter and overtime to get them the victory. And that's good. We will take that. But there's some concerns still that have carried over now through 4 weeks that I think show up in the first half that I want to get to just so we can have realistic expectations. This isn't to kill Browning. It's just to say, hey, everything isn't perfect. If the Bengals are going to try and scheme around some of his limitations, this is what it's going to look like. And I thought they did that in the second and third start against the Jags and against the Colts. Less so against the Steelers and the Vikings. We're going back to play Pittsburgh again this week. So will we see more placed on Browning, or will it be a more run-oriented scheme like we saw in those other 2 starts? Let's look at the tape and see what it looks like. Starting from the very first play of the game, and this is Jamar Chase going in motion, and Harrison Smith is going to come down and take him, which means right here that, hey, we've got a single high free safety. We can tell this pre-snap, and we've got T. Higgins running deep here, and it's a great time to throw this. And I think T. Higgins is thinking, hey, lead me, and this is a touchdown. The ball's thrown very much behind him. Not that, we're saying like, hey, T, you still got to catch it. It hits your hands, right? We want that ball to be caught every time if possible. But I understand why T's thinking, like, I'm going upfield, lay it in there for me, and not make it a situation where I have to stop, come back, make it a harder catch than it needs to be, and get hit a little bit by that corner. So, first play, I feel like you could have had a touchdown on the very first play. And I like the scheming there of getting Chase moving in the slot and motioning in the slot. And you'll see Chase in the slot again here. You're going to see him a lot. The Bengals actually put a lot of these guys in the slot this week, different guys. We'll see Charlie Jones, obviously, that deep ball that they missed. We'll see Andre Yosivash in there. It looks like they want to get a little bit more speed if they can in that position. Okay, next play. We got a single high safety again, right? So we want to throw to the boundary. Let's see if they stay that way. No, they're going to rotate with their other boundary corner to play a cover 2. And we're running Tyler Boyd from the slot. So as I said, they want to get more speed in the slot. If this was Charlie Jones, he's probably here. If it's Andre Yoshivash, he's probably here. If it's Jamar Chase, he's probably here. Instead, you're here with Tyler Boyd. Now, it's a small difference, right? But that is the difference of beating this guy down the middle of the field as both safeties are going in this direction here. You got what you want here. You've got a linebacker. This is a linebacker covering your slot receiver. And this is why I think they come to it later with Charlie Jones. So we don't get it. We've got two guys coming underneath, which is where Browning is going to go with Irv Smith, leaning him away from the defender that's coming down. Fine. We'll take the simple, easy completions here, but at the same time, I would say that there was potentially 2 touchdowns in a row missed by Browning. Now, very similar situation to before when we had Jamar Chase coming in motion here, and they're going to snap it. This is going to be a couple plays this week, a few plays actually, a handful of plays. We're going to snap it while the guy is in motion here, running full speed. And if you're going to get attention here, this guy doesn't know if he should stay flat or if he should run down or what he should do. If you're going to get that, this is the best throw Jake Browning made all game long. And you're going to watch those two defenders. That's what he's reading. We got a guy who's flat-footed, 21's paying too much attention to Higgins. Let it rip. And you got a window down here at about the 23, 22-yard line, and he nails it there. It would have hit probably the 23, 22. This is an A-plus throw by Jake Browning. We got a cross dog linebacker blitz. One guy's going to take the center. The other guy loops around, and he is going to absolutely smoke Browning. And he lays it in there. I don't care who makes this throw. If that's Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, that is an A-plus throw. Beautiful. Getting hit like that, beautiful. So let's move on now. Next passing play for Jake Browning. We've got Jamar Chase again in the slot, and he's going to run a deep crosser, deep over route, and he's going to end up one-on-one with Harrison Smith at safety. And Jamar Chase is going to say, hey, I'm open. Throw it. Because look, this boundary corner here, this guy is going to come in and play the tight end. And so this is, I mean, you could lay this up right here. You could throw it even further into the end zone, and he's just going to outrace that safety, no doubt in my mind. But you also have a situation where he's reading this way, right? Browning's looking left the entire way. Fine. If you're reading this guy, if he's sitting flat like this, look at that flat. This guy's ready to play both. He's trying to drift up far enough back to play Higgins, but also come down and take Tanner Hudson. Well, you know what that means? It means you're doing neither. And I've got a touchdown here to T. Higgins. So no matter which way Browning's looking right here, it should be a touchdown. I had a lot of people complaining during the game, like, why are we not throwing to the receivers? I wish Zach Taylor would scheme up some plays to throw to the receivers. I think we had a touchdown down the seam to T. Higgins. I think we had down the boundary to T. Higgins. I think we had a touchdown down the middle to Tyler Boyd. And now I think we had a touchdown here to Jamar Chase that Jake Browning did not see on the first drive. And remember, they end up kicking a field goal here after a bad third down call, but they should have never gotten to that third down call. And watch the safety. If he's reading the safeties right at the snap, soon as Harrison Smith starts sliding over, he lost all leverage to run with Jamar Chase. That should be now. Look at Chase. He said, I'm open. Dude, it's a touchdown. Give it to me. So when the receivers, in my opinion, had off days for the first 3 quarters, your first drive, you miss all 3 guys on touchdowns. I think that has an effect. We know it has an effect. When you don't get a receiver involved early and they think they're open, you got a chance to lose them. So we got a single high safety again. So we got to throw the boundary. If you do, that's great. We got 2 guys running to the boundary here. We got a deep route, vertical route by the boundary guy. We've got Tyler Boyd running an out route from the slot. We're good as long as they keep the coverages. The Vikings are known for swapping their coverages after the snap, and here they're going to rotate to a cover 2 post snap, and Browning never sees it. He's looking left all the way. He never looks at the safeties again. And if he knew it was cover 2, you would just rip this whole shot, and it's a tough throw, but you would rip that whole shot right there because it's really hard to throw this out route to Tyler Boyd when this boundary corner that they're supposed to be looking at sits flat. So he's just jamming them. This boundary corner is just jamming Jamar and then turning back to come down and play the out route by Tyler Boyd. You're asking for a pick 6 if you throw this. And now I think Browning realizes it right here and tries to throw it super wide. And that's why it goes directly out of bounds like that. And I remember the TV show on Browning, and he's shaking his head like, I missed it. I didn't even see it. And it's because he's not seeing it post snap. He's not seeing the rotation. He's not reading the field very well. Vikings here are going to show a cover zero blitz, right? Everyone up in the front here look like they're blitzing. Everyone else looks like they're in man coverage. We've diagrammed this how many times this year, guys? They're going to bring everyone, right? I'm going to bring everyone. Everyone's up there. Or one of these guys is going to cover the tight end right here. Doesn't really matter. But they're going to bring everyone to the line and make you think they're going to blitz everyone and you've got an easy hot or an easy completion. But watch Harrison Smith dropping out instantly. You know right away now. All right, we've got a zone coverage. They are not blitzing everyone. In fact, they're only rushing 4. So this is very standard defense. And what you have here is Jamar Chase. I think this is where he's looking. Number 1 is looking Chase here and then coming here. Because if everyone was blitzing, Chase would be wide open. This would be an easy hit for him, easy play. And when those guys aren't open, 1 and 2, he comes back to Higgins, and it turns out there's 3 guys in that window on Higgins. Tough for him to fit that in there, and tough for him to find anything there. So I want to say Browning. He's looking left the entire way. So again, I think that goes 1-2 for Chase, and then for Boyd, and then we're going to switch to the right, and we're getting pushed back a little bit here. Browning could slide in the pocket and find the most. If this is the pocket, the most space is probably here, right? So we could slide away from these guys. Pocket presence is a thing where it's a bit spotty with Browning. I want to go back just a click though and want you to watch Tanner Hudson on this block. It's a really nice play for a guy not known for blocking also. So Hudson right here on the right side. Watch him fake and then block. And this is Danielle Hunter. Fake. You got him to stop. Now you got your hands on him. That's really impressive. You get 2 tight ends blocking Danielle Hunter. That's really impressive. But I think Browning got fooled on that. That was 3rd down. Bengals punt again. This is what the Vikings defense does. They mix it up on every single play. And it's one of the issues Browning is struggling with through every game so far this year. And that's why the Jags and the Colts didn't mix it up enough or showed it a little bit too early. And I think he ate them apart because of it. We got a play action pass here. If you want to put 2 guys on T. Higgins, that's fine. We've got an easy check down here. And he got a lot of these. There's some other screens and stuff I haven't shown. But he got some chunk plays off of some, hey, you want to cover the tight ends as much or the wide receivers as much as you do? We'll check it down to Joe Mixon and to Chase Brown and the tight ends. They'll do it all day. And the Vikings really were trying to get these receivers out of the game. And it didn't work out for them. As you can see right there, both guys are doubling. Harrison Smith dropping back. I'm going to mention Harrison Smith forever. In my opinion, I think he's a Hall of Famer, probably one of the best kept secrets in the NFL. I know he's made a lot of all pros and Pro Bowls, but that's because the guy is all over the place. All over the place. They use him. They couldn't run this defense without a guy like this. So again, keep your eyes on him. I've got him circled there. What's he doing? What's he showing? Is he's sitting over top of this corner here, right? This corner here. Whenever you see a safety move and get over here over top of this receiver, or he slides over here and walks over here and gets on top of this receiver, it's a good indication that that corner is blitzing. And Jake Browning has to see that. Jake Browning has to know, okay, I may have an unblocked edge defender here. There's my hot, quickly lean it away from that linebacker and give it to Irv Smith. Instead, he doesn't like it. I'm not sure. We'll get to 2 other throws later that are very similar to this, where he throws it with good ball placement. In fact, the first catch by Irv Smith I thought was good ball placement. You lay away from him and he catches it. We end up getting a hold here by Chase Brown on Ivan Pace Jr. So whatever, didn't work out. But the unblocked defender is the quarterback's responsibility. Eyes on Harrison Smith again. He's walked up to the line. He's going to drop back. He's going to be the Mike linebacker in a Tampa 2 defense. And we've got Charlie Jones in the slot, and he's going vertical on this. As soon as he sits, as soon as Harrison Smith sits, gone. That ball is going deep and just out of the range of the speedy slot receiver. Whose fault is it? I think both guys deserve a little bit of blame here. I think Charlie slows down a little bit too much as he looks back like, hey, are you seeing this? This guy's flat-footed. Let me rip it. And Browning here is, I mean, he's off balance trying to throw this, but it's so open that I don't think you need a perfect throw. I just think you need to let the guy run under it, right? Just give him a chance to make a catch. Why make it perfect? You got a rookie receiver. You're probably, the timing isn't great with it between the 2 of you. just put it up. I think he would agree with that as well. I don't think I'm being nitpicky with that one there. But watch Charlie Jones down here. And Browning's got a guy in his face too, so maybe that leads to a little bit of inaccuracy. Maybe he just is launching it. Maybe he just is putting it up and trying to give his guy a shot. But for Charlie Jones, you are much faster, and this is for any young receiver. You are much faster if you are not looking backwards while you're running. Like, you've got to know, hey, it's coming to you. You don't need to know. Like, I don't need to see the quarterback throw that ball. Soon as that guy squatted, soon as Harrison Smith squatted, it's you. Go. Don't slow down. And then he looks back, runs with his head in the air. I mean, guy, you got to be able to track that ball. You can't run with your head in the air all the time. So this is a very similar play here. As we're showing blitz. All those guys are showing blitz for the Vikings, and they're going to drop out. They're only going to rush two guys. Look at this. 1, 2. And how many blockers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means 9 defenders are in coverage. And he's going to quickly turn and flip it to Tanner Hudson. Now, this is, like I said, very similar to the Irv Smith play, because as you throw this, let me lean it away from this guy. And that's good ball placement. So you're going to throw this into a tight window, quick decision, bang. I mean, that is good velocity, good ball placement by Jake Browning. Very nice, actually. Keep the chains moving. They tried to get you to make a mistake. You didn't fall for it. We've got some motion by Tyler Boyd. Very similar to the first play. Remember, and I said Harrison Smith came down to cover Jamar Chase, right? First play of the game. And we had a vertical by T. Higgins. This time we've got a vertical by Jamar Chase. Let's see if Jake Browning wants it. So keep your eyes up there. You've got 2 guys flat-footed. He's coming forward, right? As soon as you see that and you see this guy kind of plant and because he's leaning this way, you've got to have the whole field vision, because Harrison Smith, who's right here, is crashing down on Tyler Boyd's out route. So we've got Jamar Chase, who's going to run up the sidelines. Like, this is what it looks like when 2 guys. Do you remember the touchdown Joe Burrow to Trenton Irwin? What game was that? I can't remember. It was in Cincinnati, though. But he threw it just like this. He threw it, and it hit the whole shot right there. As soon as this guy squatted and this guy had a false step, you throw it. And that's Joe Burrow, right? We're not going to be too highly critical of Jake Browning for coming off of this here. But, man, look at that. Even Chase is going, I'm open. Throw it to me. He's got his hand up. I mean, he's Randy Mossing this. He's got to be thinking, like, come on. These are the plays, man. You took a sack on this. Actually, you got crushed, Jake Browning. This shouldn't have happened. I think you should let this rip, and I think coaches would tell him the same. I think he would even say the same, to be honest with you. He seems like a very aware guy. He's looking at it. He's looking right. I don't think he kids himself at all. So, I mean, you pay for it physically. Hey, we got Andre Yosivas in the slot, running vertically. Run it out of there. And what I like about why they're getting him in the slot here, because when you're running this and running a speed slot guy, you have to actually make him stay in here. If Tyler Boyd was right here running this, I'm going to draw a stick figure, and just slightly behind him, maybe the safety's not really as worried about it. But because this guy is ripping upfield and he's going for it, you actually have to respect it and get to the middle of the field a little bit more. And it's going to leave them with a one-on-one true situation, T. Higgins and a corner, and that should have been caught. So this should have been a situation where Browning sees he's got one-on-one, laying it up for T. Higgins. Fairly well thrown. It gives him a one-on-one situation with the advantage at the receiver. The corner just comes back around and punches it out a little bit, huh? We got a cover 2, and they're not going to disguise it, which means we know middle of the field is open. We've got a sit glance route here where it looks like Chase sits, and then we're wrapping T. Higgins around him. Let me draw it out a little bit better. So Chase is going to sit here, and T. Higgins is going to wrap around him. And the idea is to put yellow here in a conflict to say, okay, I'm going to read him. If he drifts with Higgins, I'll just hit Chase as he turns around. If he comes down on Chase, then I'm going to hit Higgins over the middle. So the read is very simple for him after the snap. We got middle of the field open, so let's see what this defender does, and you can throw off of him. Well, I don't know why you're looking left. versus a cover 2, it's an interception. So maybe he's not reading the safeties here. Maybe they're only giving him half field reads and having him read the boundary corners, but he's looking left the entire way here. Never looks to see over the middle. You'll see T. Higgins come across over the middle, wide open. So let's just say I'm wrong here and there isn't a full field read here and he's just looking left all the way. Fine, you can do that as long as you know what the defense is doing and you can still find an open player as long as you have answers for both. We've got a corner route from Irv Smith and we've got an out route from, I believe, Tanner Hudson. And that's fine. That's a great combo for figuring out if this is cover 2 or cover 1, cover 3. So right off the snap, we're going to eye that boundary corner and see what he does. Very similar to that play where I'm like, hey, they may have missed that touchdown to T. Higgins, went the same play where they missed it to Jamar Chase. We're reading this corner, and if this corner drifts too far back this way to take away Irv Smith's corner route, then just real quick bang it to Tanner Hudson, let him turn upfield and maybe get the first down. And even if he makes a nice play, even if the corner makes a nice play, makes a tackle here, it's a nice solid chunk. He'll take that every single time. So we're reading him, right? You could flip it to Hudson right there, because I would say at this point, this guy has gained his depth. Now he's coming out this way. He's not really coming down. They're saying throw it to the tight end. We do not care. And so you need to recognize that and see it. I don't know why he's convinced that this can go there, because both defenders are crashing hard on the corner route in cover 2, because of course they are. Either guy could have picked that off. This is a bad throw. This is so as A plus, as I said that one throw earlier where I said if that's Burrow, Josh Allen, Mahomes, A plus, this is an F. I mean, you cannot have these type of reads and throws while you're in the playoff hunt. And this is going to continue, by the way. The Vikings are going to continue to say, we only care about the receivers. We are going to cover these receivers. If the tight ends beat us, so be it. And there's Tanner Hudson wide open. They don't even care. So there's 2 plays in a row now. They should have gone to Tanner Hudson. We're going to go for the 3rd straight play, I believe this is, as we bring Trenton Irwin in the block. And we've got a wide receiver screen. It's like the discount double check call that Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow has done this too when they hit CJ Uzomah on a touchdown on this versus the Ravens. He's going to run the screen, and you're going to have your 2 outside blockers actually just run routes. Go vertical for us. So let's watch what happens to the defense when that happens. Whew. Jamar Chase goes out, and these guys all get sucked in. All of them are sucked in. They are all about Jamar Chase. What does that leave wide open? Tanner Hudson. No one covering Tanner Hudson again. So 3 plays in a row now. Hudson's wide open. Little credit to Jake Browning here because he really sells this slant. Watch his eyes. Watch the pump. The shoulders at least pumping. Rolls with it as the pocket's rolling. Making a nice, easier throw for him because now you're at the other hash when you throw that. So largely very good. We've got 2 sit-down routes. So I'm going to curls, if you will, right here. The receivers, this is Tyler Boyd and Jamar Chase. And the one guy they're going to forget about is the tight end. So we got 3 curls over the middle here. And all the attention and how far the defense ends up fanning out is all based on the receivers. Good on Browning to look left and then come back to the middle. So he eyes Jamar Chase first. Watch these linebackers. Watch how wide they're going to get. One's going to go to Boyd. One's going to go to Chase. Nobody over the middle. I mean, put a big neon sign on him. Irv Smith's wide open. Way to see it. So again, this defense is saying, hey, we're going to cover these receivers. We are not going to let them beat us. And the Bengals are finally saying, okay, after 4 drives and a few failures, I think we see what you're doing now. And we're just going to go and pepper the tight ends and pepper the running backs and hit these screens. And here's an example of the Vikings getting confusing pre-snap. Like they got these guys deep. You've got a safety and a linebacker walking around. I can't really tell what this would be pre-snap. This would fool a lot of people. But then post-snap, here we go. There's the snap. Whoop. Now I see Harrison Smith is coming up. He is the middle linebacker in a Tampa 2. and you're going to have these two outside guys. Is that Harrison Smith? It may not be. I'm sorry, Harrison, you're out down here on the closest to us. But it's going to be a Tampa 2, which means we've got middle of the field open because we expect that middle linebacker to turn towards the side with the most receivers. So we've got two receivers to Jake Browning's left. We got one receiver to Jake Browning's right. Jamar Chase, you really have two because you got Irv Smith. I mean, even today, I'm like, why do you guys open towards wide receivers? I can't tight ends and running backs beat you, but they always open to the side with more receivers. And so that middle linebacker is going to turn his back that way. So as a quarterback right away, this window, look where he's throwing right now. This window is open over the middle to my right because I'm going throwing off of that middle linebacker as he flips his hips. This happens very, very quickly. It's great processing for Jake Browning, especially post-snap processing where it felt like he was struggling there. Watch him. He's going to confirm the safeties. Okay, it looks like cover 2. Let me make sure that middle linebacker is turning. And as soon as he does, flip my hips, turn my head, boom. Hit the throw. Good play. We've got that ends the third quarter, basically. So we've had a couple good throws. We've had a lot of missed throws and misreads at this point. I would say through 3 quarters, it's a D quarterback grade for play. But now we're going to go into the fourth quarter, and we're going to start it off with this play. That's a touchdown to T. Higgins. We got a nice route combo for this. Good play call as we bring Tanner Hudson in motion. One guy's going to the flat. That's Hudson, obviously. I should have drawn this better. We got a corner route, and we've got a stop, kind of sit route, spot route, however you want to call it. But Chase is going to sit in between these three. And the idea here is that once you get Hudson into the flats, you can get this guy to squat on it, and you leave what? This whole area open, right? Let's color it all in because this is all open if T. Higgins can beat his man right here one-on-one. And he does. That guy squats. His corner squats on this, and you got to throw it to the sidelines. Great job. Tanner Hudson's really into it. He's jumping. Why does that guy squat, though? I think it's because of Browning's drop. If you watch him, he drops and then gives the ball should be coming out now, right? So that the defense gets used to how fast the ball comes out. And when you get to your back foot, that final step in your drop back, they're ready to cut the drive. They're ready to plant and go. And when you hold it for a click or bend your knees and look like you're about to throw or pump at that spot, you can really affect the defenses. And they did there. 24 knows he got beat not just by the receiver's route, but by Jake Browning's drop and his timing of it. Ooh, I want you to watch T. Higgins on this one. I want to come back to this play so bad. You may have seen the long touchdown to Cooper Kupp where nobody was covering him. You may have seen the Dolphins run this with Tyreek Hill a whole bunch. The Bengals are going to put T. Higgins in motion and snap it when he's up to full speed. And man, is he at full speed. He's back from that hamstring injury. Look at it. Whew. He's going. You could let this thing rip. That's one-on-one with a safety, right? I would take that. I want to see that in the future. Throw it one-on-one with a safety. Safeties can't do anything. So let's see Jake Browning's eyes. He's looking right. But that pressure, Kappa getting into him, I don't think he thinks he can get into it. Which fair. I'm not killing him. I love the play. I love the design. Good job by Joe Mixon. Get a little something out of it. Make it a manageable second down. A couple plays later, second down right now. Let's watch the safeties. Nope, they're going to rotate after the snap into a cover 2. Ivan Pace is going to open to the same side as Tyler Boyd. When Tyler Boyd runs up the field and Ivan Pace is going with him, that should lead you directly. It should be 1-2. We got middle of the field read here with a cover 2. Unless they teach him completely different. But I feel like Joe Burrow hits this. That's like I've based what I think the offense does based on how efficient and clean Joe Burrow is in his reads, that this would come out right away. He'd go, okay, you're running with Boyd, bang. Here's T. Higgins across the middle. I don't know why Browning doesn't throw that. And he ends up throwing it away and getting an intentional grounding call, which is a huge penalty. It was as big of any penalty as you can have in this league. So let's see. He confirms with the safeties, sees what's going on, turns to the right. This should be to Higgins. Maybe he's looking at the boundary guy. I mean, but man, That's bad field vision. That's a very acute Madden cone, if you will, that for him to not see that. So now we get into 3rd and 21. This is the very next play. Jake Browning is going to totally redeem himself. We saw this earlier, right? A cover 0, look, blitz, and then they race Harrison Smith out of there. So as soon as I see Harrison Smith running out of there, Jake Browning's got to notice that you've done this before. I can hang in this pocket a little bit longer. You guys actually aren't sending the blitz. I'm going to have more time in here than you're trying to make it seem. You're not going to rush me to make a rash decision here and just throw it quickly to Tyler Boyd. Instead, we've got I want to go back to that because I want to keep that. Instead, we've got a slot running vertically, which in this case, it's T. Higgins, and we're going to wrap Jamar Chase behind him on a deep dig route. And this is going to take time. The window's going to be there. As you see right there, it opens up as the two deepest guys, if I'm saying that correctly, deeperest guys are with Higgins. It leaves wide open Jamar Chase. And on 3rd and 21, and he rips it, man. He hits this throw. It's actually the play that gets Chase hurt. Not that no one's fault in it. I don't know. Ivan Pace came in pretty hot, but oh, yeah. You need time here. So I'm going to take a deep drop and I'm going to slide a little bit because I'm running from that right side there. The only guy that's really applying any type of pressure potentially. And what a far throw. On time, accurate. This is not his best throw of the day because we had that really beautiful A+ throw to Jamar Chase. This is his best quarterbacking play of the day. Keeps Bengals alive too. I think they end up scoring, running the ball there. And that was the Joe Mixon running over Ivan Pace play. Now we do get a little bit of a blitz, and we're throwing it to T. Higgins. Again, we're going to wrap this inside dig in the second level. They figured out that's going to be the area. Watch Joe Mixon pick up the blitz on Ivan Pace. Nice job, Joe. Mixon had another good day. Get inside, force him to go outside, hold him out there. And we're going to put this guy in conflict, this guy here, because as we're wrapping Higgins this way, I want to open up this window as much as possible. Either I want to move this guy with like a route underneath here somehow, or I want to move this guy that way. Either way, I want to open up this window better. And so getting 24, I believe that is, to run just a little bit with Boyd. As soon as you see that, there's the window, snap it and throw it. Place it away from the defender if you can, because it might be tight. Great job, Jake Browning. Good throw. Nice window throw. Good catch, T. Higgins. This is the game tying touchdown. And they've got a great call here. And Higgins is going to run his deep corner route here. And we've got 3 receivers to that side. Yoshi's going to run the out route. And Tyler Boyd is going to sit down. So we've got this. If that makes sense. What you're going to end up having is T splitting the 2 deep guys. Last time T ran them out of there, and then we wrapped underneath. We had a dig route on behind him. This time, they're actually going to run him through these 2 coverage defenders and try and hit him in the back of the corner of the end zone for the touchdown to win this game. So there it is. Throw it to the back corner as soon as these guys let them free, and they do, because look, one guy has to respect the middle of the field, so he was staying more neutral. This guy had to respect the out route, because why wouldn't you right at the sticks? And T is wide open here. Just got to lay it anywhere in this area, and it's an automatic wide open touchdown again for T. Higgins. But Browning's getting pressured and just puts it up. It's a prayer to T. Higgins, and T answers it. Comes back, recognizes it. I want to go back just a click here. Watch him recognize when he flips his head around thinking like, hey, I'm open. This ball should be coming to me right now. He sees that Browning is running for his life and just laying it up. Watch how quickly so you got to locate the ball. You have to track the ball and recognize where it's probably going to land very quickly. Watch how quickly he gets to the spot. It's an amazing play. It is an A+ play out of T. Higgins. Honestly, it's a career highlight. One of the best individual touchdowns I've ever seen. What happened with the protection? I think they're sliding everyone right because they were showing you got a guy potentially coming here, potentially coming here. So we're saying, okay, slide right for us. And Joe, you slide to the left, and if you got to pick up this end, that's no problem because Hudson's going to pick up this guy. Now, I don't know if Hudson didn't get it and Hudson was supposed to go get 91. That is very, very possible. And then Joe would go and take Ivan Pace. Very possible. I mean, that would make a lot of sense to me too. So when you watch Mixon here, he's going to slide and think, oh, I was supposed to get Pace. I was 91. Why is 91? And then he just can't get to it. Browning, surprisingly, like for you to see this, Jake, and run away, he never looks back. He sees him out of his peripherals and takes off and then just lays it up there. It's a bad throw. Objectively, a bad throw. Objectively, a hope and a prayer. Just hoping your guy makes a play. And he does. So again, we got a sit glance situation here. Just let's put a middle of the field defender in conflict. Let him make the decision. We'll read him. So this time it's the middle linebacker. We'll read him. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it is this guy, the outside linebacker. But both guys jump onto Tyler Boyd, and you've got Tanner Hudson. It should be the next pivot. Just flip it to him. Even he thinks it. I mean, you see his hands open. He claps his hands at them like, come on, that's me. So the processing here is a bit slow, or he's just being a bit of a gunslinger because he does that at times, Jake Browning. Because look to the right. He's looking right. He's reading the correct guys, but the pump. Did he think I can pump him and then hit him? You probably could have just used your eyes and then flipped and got it. And now you've got pressure on you. You don't have time. All that took too much time, and the pocket collapses. It should have been a completion. This is an overtime, by the way. So, like, high critical situation. We've got a window throw here. Does he want Yoshi to sit down? I think he might. I don't think he was inaccurate. Yoshi's like, let me run through because I can make a huge play out of this. I think Yoshi's wrong here. Typically versus zone, you sit into a zone or you slow up at least when you get into this window, as you'll see as he comes around now. Slow up just a bit here. 45's coming over. But I think, honestly, if you would have let him, that could have been a huge play. And we're so close to seeing a huge Yoshi play. I believe this is the game winner. We've got a single high safety. They're saying middle of the field closed, but they're going to swap it at the snap. It's going to be a cover 2, middle of the field open, which is great. We've got the slot running vertically. This is Andre Yosivas using speed in the slot, running vertically. We're going to run them out of there. We're going to wrap Tyler Boyd behind it. This is what they used the whole fourth quarter to beat the Vikings. It would have worked again. Tyler Boyd coming across the middle right now. This should be a nice window over the middle of the field open versus cover 2. Browning has to get out of there. There's pressure up the middle. But the thing about it is both guys knew what the coverage was. So as they break the pocket, where do they both go? They still stay to the middle of the field. Eyes for Browning are still going to stay in the middle of the field, and he's going to see Tyler Boyd open and lay it in there. Boyd stays on his feet, makes a play happen, runs down the sideline, gets them in easy field goal range. Tremendous play. This is almost twice this year where Boyd has won the game with a run after the catch type play at the end. Watch Travion Williams pick up the edge blitz, knock Harrison Smith inside, pick up Ivan Pace. And you see this is when Browning should be looking left, waiting for Boyd to wrap in and hit him in this window here. This should be a nice, I mean, if there was no pressure, this would be a nice window here. Easy throw, pitch and catch. But you do have Danielle Hunter applying a little bit, and Browning's got to get out of there. And he gets out. But as soon as he gets out and he can get back to a passing posture, his eyes go right back to Tyler Boyd because he knows it's middle of the field open. I've got a chance to hit him. If he keeps running in the same spot, he does. They both see it. They're both on the same page. This gets super tight. All three defenders converge. Boyd stays on his feet, tiptoes down the sideline, cuts it back for a few more yards. Tremendous quarterback, receiver, being synced up mentally, knowing what the defense is doing, despite them trying to disguise it pre-snap, post-snap. Watch Browning's eyes from this angle. You can really see it. There comes the pressure up the middle. Watch his eyes snap back instantly as soon as he gets out there. Yeah. Look at the sideline going nuts. Mike Hilton, you're too far off, man. You're supposed to be, if anyone doesn't know, if you've played, you're supposed to be behind these dashed lines. And I want to say you can't even go past what is it, the 35? I don't remember. It might be this line right here. I don't even think you're supposed to go past that line right there. So he's way down there. Mike Hilton, you're going to get a penalty one of these days. We love you. But be careful, dog. That's a big play. So Jake Browning figured it out. The offense figured it out. The coaches figured it out. after the first few. I thought the opening drive, clearly there was a bunch of plays in there that should have scored. Should have come out of that with 7 points. I think that's very obvious. But after that, they struggled big time. Then they started bringing in all these dagger concepts, right? And that's, bringing the deep digs behind a guy, going deeper, and then having open windows. Seems simple, but it took them a bit to get to it. It took them a bit, I think, for Browning to see it correctly. I think that's the biggest issue. If we're talking about strengths and weaknesses, and I do the scouting reports, and I don't have the book out here, the player evaluation guide, there are numbers I'm already starting to change on Jake Browning. I think he's actually, while sporadic in the pocket, a lot of his second reaction movements are really good, and he can go off script much better than I expected. It was already a decent grade before, but I'm going to bump it up a little bit. I think his accuracy is better than I expected at all three levels, especially the intermediate range. Intermediate and over the middle, they're throwing a lot right now, and he's doing really, really well with that. I think his arm strength is still below average, but it really hasn't affected him too much. They've done a great job scheming and giving him easier throws and easier targets, more open targets. So, that's good to see. It's not a big issue. One of the things, though, the pre-snap, post-snap vision and reading it is still limited, and it's still going to limit this offense. Maybe it's more reps he needs still. This was an issue, though, going all the way back in preseason and at Washington. So I don't know if it's something that'll ever get to Joe Burrow's level, but physically, he's not far off of Burrow's level. And I would say deep accuracy isn't the same. I would say Burrow has a stronger arm. I would say Burrow can throw from different arm angles and platforms and remain accurate better. But largely, to me, I said this after the second game, Jake Browning reminds me of a Ryan Fitzpatrick. And if that's what he can be and make a career out of that, man, you'll have a successful, you'll make a lot of money, you'll have a good time, you'll play for a long time. You'll have a lot of fan bases that really, really support you and enjoy you. And how far can the Bengals go with that? Still to be seen. They do not control their own destiny just yet. They're going to need someone else to lose, multiple teams to lose along the way. And they're going to have to win most of their games, if not win out. Winning out would probably secure it. And even then, it's not 100%, but there's like a couple of scenarios where they wouldn't. But going 2-1 seems likely. The projections are saying coin flip games for the Steelers, coin flip for that Browns game, and then heavy edge to the Chiefs in the game in between. They're going to have to steal one. They're going to have to win a couple close games. We know this. These are the playoffs. This is the fun. If you're waiting for the playoffs to have fun, you're missing out. These are fun, exciting, cool games to watch and go to. I hope you guys are enjoying this, because I'm enjoying this. This is fun again. I was worried there for a little bit, but I think we're having a good time going over scenarios, and it sucks to see DJ Ivy, DJ Reader lost for the season. Shout out to those guys. Hope it's not Reader's final snap. We will talk about Reader at some point, I'm sure. Not his final snap with the Bengals is what I'm hoping. When we get to the offseason, that'll be a full conversation. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. We have to pay attention and see what happens with Jamar Chase. Separated his shoulder. They believe they said AC joint separation. I had that as well when I was young. A shout out to the guys out there. If your collarbone sticks up just a little bit too much, I'm with you. It could be 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, depending on the severity and pain management. You could play very quickly with some limitation, but we'll see how that goes. This has been Bengals on the Brain. I'm Joe Goodberry. The show is brought to you by First Star Logistics. Get in on the giveaway. Remember, Saturdays are the games. Saturday for the Steelers game again. Next episode, I assume we'll look at the defense a little bit more, because one guy in particular, Miles Murphy, continues to flash, and I want to get to that. Until next time, who dey?
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realize self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.